All right, this is number 166. And before we begin the yoga routine, I want to share a quote from Shakespeare, which states, "There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." Now, whether Shakespeare believed that or not, whether it was just one of his characters, regardless, the essence of that single quote is exactly what we're learning on the yoga mat. Ultimately, we are learning that we are looking through our thinking, which means we are in control of how we think. And we learn that on the yoga mat because when we're in a yoga pose, we let go of judgment, of control, and we're just in the moment. And when you're in the moment, you realize there's no thoughts, which means you are the one in control of how you think. So the quote again is, "There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." So on the yoga mat, what we're doing is realizing that we can let go of negative thinking. And we can have a mindset of positive thoughts, a collection of all positive thoughts. And then when we have this collection of positive thoughts, which is a mindset of positivity, and then we get off the yoga mat, then we see through that mindset, which will make the world seem as a positive world. And there's depth to that quote. There's depth to that understanding, but it's really simple. And it's just that we are in control of how we think, which will allow our so-called lowercase r reality be positive or negative. Now, does that mean negative things don't happen? Well, in reality, it may. But those negative things are over there. And that's what we're learning on the yoga mat. That's what we're learning in acceptance. When we accept ourselves on the yoga mat and we're off the yoga mat, we accept certain situations that are happening. Maybe they're negative, maybe they're positive. Whatever they are, it doesn't become you because you are ultimately the controller of how you think. And how you think controls your lowercase r reality. Now, I just read that quote. Again, like I said, I should prepare on how to explain those better. But if I did that, then it would be too much preparation instead of just coming out of my garage and teaching yoga. That's easy because I'm 5:30 is going to come. I'm going to do yoga, and I'm going to do it live. If I had to think about the quote and say, hey, I need to say it this way, that way, that would be too much. And then I might not do it. And that's what we're learning on the yoga mat too, man. We're learning that of how to balance, not just in a yoga pose, but balance things in life. Learning about yourself, knowing that, hey, you can't spend 20 minutes on trying to explain a quote. Just do it. And if the person watching likes what you said, then they like what you said. If they don't, they don't. That's what we're learning, man. We're learning to be flexible, where we can adapt, what we need to do for ourselves, not to do, so we can make things happen. And that's what I'm learning. That's what I've been learning this whole time. I've been doing this series, I'll call it a series, of yoga routines every morning. For 166 days in a row, I've been doing this. And I've learned a lot about how just this process is how life should work too. Make it happen, and how you make it happen is you're flexible, you know yourself, you know you can't study a quote for half an hour before you explain it. You just need to do it. Like Nike, right there. Just do it. When I did that, that's what I thought. Just do it. Okay. So today we're going to do two sun salutations with variations of them. So we'll begin in the mountain pose, settling ourselves, becoming one like a mountain. It's a mindset, not just a pose. The stability and the feeling of firmness and all that, and center of gravity, you engage the abs, all that does happen. But that allows a mindset too, which is firmness, stability, being like a mountain, one with the mountain, oneness, capital O. Just like a mountain is one with the earth, so are we. And that's what we're tapping into in a mental way and mentality. And then we're going to go into the two sun salutations with variations. And then we'll settle back into a mountain pose, settling, focusing on our breathing, watching ourselves breathe, thinking of nothing else but the breathing. And then that is where the quote comes in. You realize you are the thing watching your thoughts, meaning you can control your thoughts, getting rid of this thought, that thought, and just having a positive collection of thoughts, a positive mindset that you will see the world through, which makes the world seem positive, which opens up opportunities, new ways of thinking. A lot of times when we have negative thoughts, I have negative thoughts, but when we have these, we don't see something over here. We're so focused on this one negative thing that's happening. That's happening to me today. It's only in the morning. There's a negative thing I feel, but it's not negative. I need to let go of it. But what happens is when you focus on this negative thing, you can't see this opportunity. But when you realize that negative thing, this negative thing is right here. That's what I'm looking at. And then, and you just reinterpret it and see it as something, not negative or bad, just like the quote was saying. And you will see possibilities that didn't exist before. So, all right, so let's go ahead and begin. Mountain pose, feet are shoulder width apart, toes go up, spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted, arms are relaxed. So relax the arms and the shoulders and the neck. No tension anywhere. In the mountain pose, you're letting yourself stand. So you're lengthening up. Lengthen up the skeleton and then let the bones of the skeleton sit on top of each other. And the skeleton standing by itself. So you were just your skeleton. No skin, no muscle, nothing. Just a skeleton. You're finding that spot where that skeleton's standing. So everyone's going to look different. Find that spot and let the skeleton just stand and focus on the breathing. Becoming one, just like a mountain, the firmness of a mountain. It's a mindset. Be firm. Palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. Inhale slowly. Inhale as much as you can. Then exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward, reaching out, hinging from the lower back. And we're just going to fall into ragdoll. With the ragdoll, the arms are dangling, head is dangling, so no tension in the neck. And now think of the lower back and just release. And just let your body fall into the pose. In this pose, you're not pulling yourself down or pushing yourself down. You're just accepting and letting go. You're just accepting where you are. Very important. Acceptance is extremely important because acceptance allows for openness. So in this pose, what's important is you're closed up, right? From a physical perspective, you're closed up. But you're still open. You're having a mindset of openness because the body does not dictate whether you have a mindset of openness or not. So once you're in this pose, you accept, boom, you tap into openness. That's the mindset that we're learning on the yoga mat. So when you're off the yoga mat and you're in a situation where you feel closed, no way out of it, you just accept, boom, you'll tap into openness, and you'll see a way out of it. You'll see new thinking, new ideas, new possibilities, new adventures. But you first have to accept where you are, ultimately accepting yourself. It's all right. Palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. You're going to arch the back, raise the head. Inhale as much as you can. Then exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in, push all the air out, get all the air out. Then you're going to arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in, push all the air out, get all the air out. Arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Exhale, pull yourself in, push all the air out. Again, arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in, push all the air out, get all the air out. We're going to do two more. Arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Inhale as much as you can. And then exhale, get all the air out, push all the air out, pull yourself in. Forehead's going to the knees. And again, arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. And exhale, get all the air out, pull yourself in. And once all the air leaves, just release and breathe. And just watch yourself breathe. You're not controlling the breathing. You're already breathing automatically. So you're just going to watch it. 100% focus on the breathing. This pose is important, extremely important, because what's happening is you're becoming aware of subtleness. So when you inhale, the belly swells with air, it pushes you out of the pose slightly. And when you exhale, the belly goes in, you go back into the pose. You let that movement happen. It's very subtle. You're aware of it, but you're not focused on it. You're focused on the breathing. But 100% focus on the breathing, which allows you to become aware of that subtle movement. So when you're off the yoga mat, you become aware of subtleness around you. The palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. With a low lunge, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor. Hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching. Head is going up. Front knee is not over the toes. And if your back is straight, you're reaching out. You're elongating the back. You're just feeling opened. Don't judge it. If you feel like, man, I'm closed up a little, no. That's judgment. That will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. Same thing if you're feeling, man, I'm doing this pose perfectly. That's awesome, but that's still judgment, and that's not what we're doing. We're doing yoga. And yoga is when the mind and body connects as one. And to let the mind and body connect, you need to get rid of all judgment. Let go of the energy of control. Let go of all the barriers that prevent the mind and body from becoming one. And you do that by focusing 100% on the breathing. Because when you're focused 100% on the breathing, you can't have those barriers. Now we're going to go into the monkey. So curl the toes under the back, keep the knee on the floor, arms go up, and you're reaching up. So the arms can be parallel, or you can have them out some. You're looking forward or you're looking up, but whatever you do, get the fingers as wide as you can. Middle fingers are pointing straight up, and you're reaching up. Now, if you're in this pose and you feel like, man, I'm wobbling, I'm going back and forth, it's okay. That's where you are. That's what we're learning. You're learning to accept where you are. And that's the base that you need to learn. Because when you're out in the so-called real world, you need to know where you are. Not in some, I'm going to say illusion, but not in some fairyland like, hey, I'm perfect, I'm this, I'm that. No, find out exactly where you are, and that allows the foundation that you can move forward on. Reach up, and then palms go down to the front. Foot, knee goes up, high lunge just for a second or so, just to settle. And then downward dog. With the downward dog, arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor, and you're pushing into this pose. Now you are pushing into this pose, but you're only pushing to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further. Find that spot, settle there, and accept where you are. Now you're going to go into the plank. You're going to modify the plank how you have to. We're going to go about a minute. I left my phone on I have a little table there. I left it on my table. So we're going to estimate a minute. So in this pose, you're going to modify it. So you need to bring the knees down, that's what you do. If you need to go the hands and knees all the way back, that's what you do. Okay? You're accepting where you are. Now, you're going to suck the belly in, but you're not really sucking it in. What you're doing is engaging the abs. So the belly button is going into the spine. That's working those muscles like what muscles that? The I'll think of the multityphanous muscle, or however you pronounce it. Transverse abdominis or something like that. Those muscles engage before you make a movement. It anticipates a movement. So before you move to pick something up, boom, those muscles engage. And that's what you're focusing on in a physical sense. But you're also accepting where you are. Now you're going to go back to hands and knees. That's about a minute. I don't know what it was. I bet it was 47 seconds. I don't know. I'm just joking. I don't know what it was. Really push into this pose now. Of course, you're not listening to me. You're not saying, yeah, I'm going to push into it. No. You determine to say, hey, I can push into it, but I can only go to this spot. Or you think, Charlie, I can't push into it any further. That's a mindset that you're learning. You're learning to become your own guru. You don't listen to me. I'm not your guru. I'm not your leader. I don't want to be your guru. 2019, I'm not sure if we want a guru. We don't want a leader. I think it's important to learn to follow your own self. Drop down to the knees and the chest, slide up. And then you're going to go to the upward dog. So with the upward dog, tops of the feet are to the floor. Palms, of course, are to the floor. And you're feeling open. Now, this pose, you modify it. You go hands and knees, or you go to the cobra. And chest is off the floor. Now, when you're in the hands and knees, I didn't mention it, but you're doing the cow. You're arching. Or you're just doing the upward dog as much as you can, and you're accepting where you are. Don't judge it. No judgment. Then back to downward dog, pushing into it. And you are pushing into this pose. Arms straight, legs straight, tailbones to the ceiling, the heels are towards the floor. And what is important in this pose, if you're pushing and you're feeling like, man, I can go a little bit further, listen to yourself and go a little bit further. If you think, man, I need to bring myself out of it, don't stay in the pose if you're thinking I need to bring myself out of it. Listen to yourself. You're learning to listen to yourself. This is the most important thing, or one of the most important things, or a very important thing that we're learning on the yoga mat, is to listen to yourself. Trust yourself. If you think, man, I should do this, do it. So when you're off the yoga mat, someone tells you something, you analyze it, you think it over with yourself. Of course, if you believe in God, you talk it over with God. Then you make the decision. And then the left foot is up between the hands into a low lunge. With a low lunge, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is straight or arched. But you want to make sure the front knee is not going over the toes. If it is, lengthen up some. If the back is arching, hip bones are pushing forward, back is arching, head is going up. And you're doing the best you can, accepting where you are. Letting go of all judgment. Judgment of, man, I'm not doing this good. I'm not. Let go of that. That's a barrier. We're doing yoga. And yoga is not about the poses. Yoga does not the poses do not dictate whether you feel open. where the mind is one. Mind and body is one. What allows that is true oneness, tapping into oneness. You do that by letting go of those barriers. Now you're going to go into monkey. So with the monkey, curl the toes under in the back, knees to the floor, hips are square, shoulders are square, and you're reaching up. Now you are reaching up, you're stretching. Arms can go parallel, they can go out. You're looking forward, you're looking up, but whatever you're doing, get the fingers as wide as you can. You're reaching up. Even in this pose, I usually don't talk about the muscles, but in this pose, engage the abs, get the belly button into the spine. Maybe I need to start talking about the muscles. And if you're wobbling, accept it. Doesn't matter. Let go of thinking, man, I'm wobbling. Man, I wish I could do. That's not what we're doing. That's not yoga. Yoga is mind and body's connecting. Now reach up a little higher. And then palms go down to the front. Knee goes off the floor. High lunge just for a second or so. Then standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. Forehead is going to the knees. And you are pulling yourself in and down. But once you're settled, you're accepting where you are. And in a way, you're no longer pulling yourself in and down because you're accepting. Of course, technically that's difficult because you are pulling yourself in and down. But once you accept, this is a process. It's a learning curve that we all have to get through. But even though you're pulling yourself in and down, you are not. Because once you accept, you're settling in the pose, you're finding that spot where the pose is just static and it's just happening. The palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Turn the palms out, push the air down and out, exhale. Last time salutation, inhale. Exhale, hinge forward, reaching out and down, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. You're just focusing on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing, very important. And again, this pose does not determine if you're opened or not. Technically, it feels like you're closed up, right? But once you accept, boom, you tap into openness. You're no longer closed up. You just are. You just exist. You're in openness. You allow that to happen. So when you're off the yoga mat, you're in a situation that you feel enclosed in, whatever it may be. If you accept where you are, boom, you tap into openness. And you will find a way out. You'll have new ideas, new thoughts. Or you may be in a job that you feel enclosed. It might make you see the job differently, interpret the job differently. And you'll stay. You won't leave. It's all a mindset. Left leg is back. Low lunge. Feel opened. Feel open. Openness. Let go of judgment. Then high lunge, just for a second or so. Then downward dog, pushing into it. Really, really push into it down. Get the arms straight. Legs are straight. Tailbones to the ceiling. Heels are towards the floor. And wherever you are, go a little bit further. And of course, you don't listen to me. That's a suggestion. If you don't feel like you should, don't do it. Don't listen to me. That is the ultimate thing you're learning. You're learning to listen to yourself. You're not even listening to the guys telling you what to do in the yoga pose. That's awesome, man. That's beautiful. That's ultimately what you're learning. You're thinking, man, I can't do that. So you don't do it. Or you feel like, you know what, I can go further than he's saying. He's saying, go to your level. Man, he thinks I'm weak. I'm just joking. That's judgment. No, you don't want that. Then drop. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go to plank. Again, I left my phone over there, so we're going to estimate a minute. And you're engaging the abs. Abs are engaged, but you're still breathing. And you modify this pose how you have to. You need to go to hands and knees. That's what you do. Or you do the knees just down, keep the back as straight as you can. Or you do the full plank. Whatever you're doing, you're focusing on the breathing, accepting where you are. So if your arms are wobbling, that's okay, man. If you're to your hands and knees, that's okay. That's where you are. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. Because what you're learning is acceptance. That's what matters. Oneness is what matters. And slide into the upper dog. Modify it how you have to. You need to do the cow, do the cow. If you need to do the small cobra, do the small cobra. You're just accepting where you are. And back to downward dog, pushing into it. Really push into it now. Push as far as you can. And the most important thing here is, if you're thinking, I can't go further, man, that is beautiful. Listen to yourself. Don't listen to me. Be your own guru. That is ultimately what I want you to learn or tap into. So with the back foot, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward, diagonally, back is straight or arched. And you're feeling open. Feel open, openness. Tapping into openness. Letting go of judgment. Just accepting, man, accepting where you are, which allows you to accept who you are, accept where you are in life, and then boom, you tap into openness, gives you a foundation, and lets you move forward into where you should really go. So it's a mindset, man. It's a positive mindset that will make your life positive. Then monkey. So with the monkey, hips are square, shoulders are square, reaching up. Again, arms can be parallel. They can go out. Keep the fingers as wide as you can. Reaching up, feeling opened. You can look forward if you like, or up. It doesn't matter. Now reach a little higher. Belly buttons into the spine. And then palms down to the front. High lunge just for a second or so. Then standing forward bend. Pull yourself in and down. And just focus on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. And exhale, turn the palms out, push the air down and out. Then back to mountain pose. Mountain pose, feet are shoulder width apart. Toes go up, split the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor by that time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted. Arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed, neck is relaxed. Finding in that spot where the skeleton is just standing as if you were just your skeleton. You're focused on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. Remember, you're already breathing automatically. So that's what you're watching. And you watch it by watching the belly go in and out as you inhale and exhale. Or you watch the air go in and out of your nose. So you bring your focus to the tip of the nose. And just watch yourself breathe. And what will happen is you'll start to think about other things, most likely. Then when you realize, hey, I've been thinking about other things, we'll let go and just bring your focus back to your breathing. Then it'll happen again, and then you just bring your focus back to your breathing. And then again, and again, and again. And it's a process. And eventually what happens is that you realize you are not your thoughts. You are the thing that is controlling your thoughts. Just like the quote I was mentioning earlier with Shakespeare. See the world through your thoughts. So that means you are the master of your thoughts. You can get rid of negative thoughts and get a collection of positive thoughts. And then you can have a positive mindset, seeing the world through this positive mindset, which opens up new thinking, new ideas, new adventures, just newness. And just focus on your breathing, and we're just going to stay here a little bit longer. Palms together. Namaste. That's it. That's number 166 YouTube Live Yoga Routine. So I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. So namaste, peace and love.